Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. There are a few DC updates today, and some more Zack Snyder stuff. But before we get into that, I have to thank my newest member of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much to Dr. O for joining as a member of the Ping Pong Flix Show. And of course, to everyone else, as a member, you can leave a comment or a question down on the most current video. And then on the next show, I will read it out loud. All right. So, but before we get onto the show, actually, I want to do an unabashed promotion of my wife's new channel. It's called Ping Pong Family. It's for kids, so there are no comments, because on kids' channels you can't put any comments on it. But you can check it out. It's basically my family and I going to like Lucky Strike, having fun, and things like that. So it's a really cute video. So I'll put that in the, I'll probably pin it in the comments so you can check it out. So appreciate the support for that. All right, let's get into the topics. The first topic of the day, of course, is Army of the Dead has been released. It has already been released by the time you see this. You can check it out on Netflix right now if it's available in your country. I don't know if it is, but for America at least, it's available for you to watch. Army of the Dead. It's a fantastic movie. I love it. I love the cinematography. I love the dream lens. The dream lens is that the style of camera he's using, where it's like in focus and out of focus, that kind of look. It's action-packed. It's emotional. It's funny. It's fun. And check it out. Even if you don't like zombies, I think there's some. It's almost like Aliens in a little bit. But for the first time, you actually, well, maybe not the first time, but there are several times in zombie history where you felt bad for the zombies. This is one of them. So this is a really cool movie. Check it out. It's on Netflix right now. Speaking of Zack Snyder, he went on this lights camera pod, and he actually confirmed that there is a Gahoole cut. A Gahoole cut. Remember that CG animated movie with owls in it? Well, let's listen to what he had to say about that.
Okay, I will say that there is a Gahoole cut.
Oh!
It's true, because we had the dead parents. We had, because the movie when I signed on was like, okay, it's a movie about it's a metaphor for the civil rights movement. And we had like Down by the River as the song, because the pure ones, and then like, all the other owls that are just normal are like being, made to like just pick through these pellets. Meanwhile, like, the pure ones are like forcing everyone into submission like Nazis. And so, so there was like, but they were like, okay, this is like getting a little, and then like when Soren goes back, his parents have been murdered. So there was like a little bit more, it was a little bit tougher, the movie.
Well, we wrote that question almost like as like a joke to the cut verse, but now all I want to see is the Guardians of Gahoole Snyder cut. So now we're going to start a brand new movement.
So there's a Guardians, the Owls of Gahoole Snyder cut out there. It exists. It's real. It's true. I would love to see that too. We talked about Snyder cut Sucker Punch, a few videos ago. Now there's a Gahoole cut. Oh my God, I would love to see that. Of course, it's probably more mature. As I didn't know that. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it was talking about, like, in a way, racism in that movie, and so it's about the civil rights movement. That's interesting. I have to go back and watch that now. I think I have with a new understanding of it, I could probably go back and watch that now. So that's interesting. Gahoole cut. Yeah, the Snyder cut of the Owls of Gahoole. Wow. What else is there, right? All right. Moving on to the next one. Let's get a little bit into Star Wars. This is an announcement from Star Wars and Lucasfilm that Dave Filoni is officially an executive creative director at Lucasfilm Disney. I am happy for that. I think they're with him and what Jon Favreau has done, in terms of The Mandalorian, and apparently, I haven't watched all the Rebel stuff and stuff, but apparently he's got it. I mean, from The Mandalorian, you need a dude to have that kind of leadership in a way, to figure out how this goes and where it goes, right? And I believe Dave Filoni is that dude. A lot of Star Wars fans believe that he is that dude. We need that. If it's not George Lucas, it's someone who understands that and kind of connect it all together, right? I mean, I kind of wish he was involved from the beginning, so we wouldn't have this fiasco that's Force Awakens, and The Last Jedi is different from Force Awakens, and The Rise of Skywalker tried to fix whatever happened in The Last Jedi, or at least appease The Last Jedi fans and Force Awakens fans. Like, it was just, it didn't work out. So if Dave Filoni, hopefully for the future movies, future series, this should work out, and people should be happy that Dave Filoni is involved. At least I think so. I mean, The Mandalorian's awesome. I want more of that. Like, whatever he done with that, yes, please. That would be great. So, yeah, I'm especially happy for that. All right, well, it's time to get into some of Marvel. A very small thing. It's not much. Basically, this is a response to Emily Blunt, who can't stand the Fantastic Four questions anymore. They keep asking her about Fantastic Four. She's like, I'm not in Fantastic Four, nothing like that. So Justin Kroll from Variety, I think it's from Variety, he actually quote tweeted this and talked a little bit about, Deadline. He talked a little bit about, Fantastic Four. So he says, I'm not trying to bag on this specific person because he has no idea what other reporters are asking, but all you have to do is a little research and realize there has never been a single legitimate story linking her to the project. Always been fan casting. So Emily Blunt has always been a fan cast, nothing more, no conversation whatsoever. I know everyone desperately wants this film cast, but it doesn't even have a script. And Feige would rarely cast something without the director's input first. The few times that's ever happened is Marshala on Blade and Brie on Captain Marvel, and Watts is dealing with Spidey. So if I had to guess right now, I'm going to say there's a 99% chance you hear about a screenwriter before any castings on this one. So, in a way that reporter is saying that, Kevin Feige, they don't have anybody right now. They don't even have it's not even written. It's like, they're working on the story, but I guess it's not greenlit to the point that they're getting a director. They have a actress or an actor for that. So for right now, Emily Blunt is not in Fantastic Four. Neither is her husband. So it's that's fan casting. So there is this situation right now in terms of Fantastic Four. All right, let's move on over to another superhero universe, and that is DC. Now, I talked about My Adventures with Superman, and this is up and away, but My Adventures with Superman, that animated cartoon that's coming on HBO Max, and I was looking for designs. Here it is. This is apparent. I think it is a leak. I don't know, but here is apparent designs for that animated series. Definitely got the whole red trunks going on here as the classic Superman look. That's Clark, that's Lois, that's Jimmy Olsen. Don't know who that is, but yeah, there's your look and the style of that cartoon that's coming out. Okay, moving on for more DC. This is a little bit about the Flash TV series, Grant Gustin's Flash. Apparently, coming from Henri Kea, he is a Voulain reporter. He says that, and the amount of cast members who are leaving the Flash recently will be increasing once again. Oh, okay. So the Team Flash I think is crumbling around him. Like, I'm expecting, the father to be gone and the other team members to be gone as well. I think as they're slowly Team Flash is slowly going away. And I think this is a sign, more so a sign that it's coming to an end. Like, it has to be. I mean, it's very long running and but it's I think it's kind of losing its steam in a sense. I feel like it. I mean, absolutely, there's probably people who are like Team Flash all the way, the Flash all the way, absolutely. But I think there's a certain point where you start to lose. People start to lose interest, or it starts to, like, you can't, how many more stories can you tell with this? Absolutely, there's probably a lot more, but with all this going on and the multiverse expanding, I think there will be a certain point, just like the Supergirl series, that the Flash will have to start to end as well. And so maybe this is a way to kind of just lessen it, And, for, better or worse, it's about time the Flash didn't need Team Flash to help him out. Why can't the Flash be the Flash and save the day without anybody helping him? Right? Maybe this will be it. This is the time where he gets to be the Flash that he needs to be, a powerful superhero that does not need a team to back him up. And I think if it goes that route, then I can totally see how this is shaping out to be why they need lessening the amount of cast members who are needing to be on the show. Let Barry Allen do it himself, right? He's powerful enough. He should be confident enough. Should be confident enough to handle things on his own. So that's for the Flash TV series. Now, since we're talking about the Flash, let's get into the Flash movies. So the Flash movie is coming out. Andy Muschietti just put this on Instagram saying that's the chair for Barry. And then his sister, the producer, says, Instagram this, Bruce Wayne. Which Bruce Wayne is this? I don't know. Is this Michael Keaton Bruce Wayne? Is it Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne? I want to lean towards this is probably Michael Keaton Bruce Wayne, as they are trying to make it focus on Ezra Miller's The Flash with his co-actor, and probably the other lead for this movie would be Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne, as he travels to that dimension, sees that interacts with Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne, and within that world. So that's who I'm going to guess that's going to be sitting in that chair. I'm going to say it's going to be Michael Keaton in that chair. That's what I think in any way. All right, moving on to another DC movie. This time it's Black Adam. So apparently there is a reveal of his suit. Sort of. So here's him sitting with lots of drinks here, and he's working on something, and he has this suspiciously black looking robe over around him. He posted this, and he says, if you swipe left and zoom in, you'll see a small piece of my gold Black Adam peeking out from under my black cloak of secrecy. My weekly board meetings all take place during my 30-minute breaks from shooting Black Adam. So you're like, wait a minute, what? Oh, right there. You can sort of see a little bit of the Black Adam outfit. And it's very little. It's just some black with some gold or whatever brown there. But also his arm, He had another shot of him holding his, up here. And that's part of his suit as well. So if you look closely, that's part of his suit. And what I'm seeing here is it's an absolutely very thin material, and that's how I'm guessing how he's able to say there's no padding, and you can see my muscles are mine, there's no padding whatsoever. So I'm thinking the material, less texture, been very thin, so that you can actually see his physique, if you will. So that is a kind of a glimpse of what his suit will look like. It's very, I don't know if these markings are Egyptian in any way, I don't know, but it's probably like that. But the fact that it's not textured, it's not to the point like, how Superman's suit is, or even Shazam's suit is, right? That's padding, but it had these textures on it. This is very thin material, very thin, so to the point that you can just see his physique right there. So I think that's how it's going to look like, and that's why he's just gonna be bulgy. Like, that's all him. That's all his muscles. Don't worry about it. So it's not his skin. They didn't paint his skin or whatever. He's not having a suit that's like Shazam. It's gonna be his very own, very thin. Shows off his physique to this monstrous villainy fellow. And they're just teasing it right now. Like, I want to see in full like Entertainment Magazine look or whatever. Just get it done with. Just get it over with. So before we can accidentally see it behind the scenes. And you know what? Actually, you know what? I just think this behind the scenes look, because it's so thin, it relies on his own physique. Him out in the open in the behind the scenes shoot will probably look pretty good compared to something that needs perfect lighting and everything like that. I think because of his own physique, and it's very thin, he could actually look pretty awesome out in the open, and if someone had a big telescopic lens and able to shoot that, it would probably look good. It will probably look good. But I'm also interested to see what Dr. Fate looks like, what Hawkman looks like, and all the other cast, Atom Smasher, Cyclone. Would love to see what they look like as well. So, but there you go. There's a little hint of Black Adam right there. And right here. So right there. Okay, moving on. This is the last topic. This is about Zack Snyder's Justice League and a little bit more Snyderverse. So, Den of Geek News had this article. It says, there is a lot more story left in the Snyderverse beyond Justice League, says Zack Snyder. Yeah, I know. He's already talked about how he's mapped it out and figured it all out. Sure. But the fact that he's still, coming out and saying this is really cool to definitely see that. And, it should kind of just spark a little restore a Snyderverse in ourselves. So Zack Snyder and Snyderverse, it's completely mapped out. There's a lot more story left in the Snyderverse beyond Justice League, says Zack Snyder. So he's pretty much just putting it out there. And we already know, but he's just putting it out there as much as he can. So when they sat down to discuss Army of the Dead with Snyder this month, the director avoided saying he definitely would like to pick up where he left off, but he acknowledged that he could if he wanted to, and if the studio did too. He said the story is completely mapped out. Snyder says, if you go to Dallas, we had the storyboards up in the AT&T headquarters. There's a 40-foot dry erase boards that tell the entire story of where the DC universe would go if I was in charge of it. So Snyder is referring to the exhibit at the AT&T Discovery District, as you know. He says, I have the entire thing figured out all the way. 2 more movies after Justice League that tell the story of the dark side invasion, the post-apocalyptic world, the turning back of all the stuff, all the way to Lois's child. So the answer is yes. Yes, there is more. There's absolutely more. And, we would love to see it. So, but of course, Warner Bros., which handed Snyder a reported $70 million to complete his 4-hour cut of Justice League, has indicated quite candidly that the trajectory of the Snyderverse has come to an official end with the Snyder cut of the film. But since DC Entertainment is about to double down on the concept of multiverse, featuring different iterations of its characters in film, TV, and comics, doesn't that create a space for the Snyderverse to continue? And I like that he tackled this, Zack Snyder, and talked about all these other all these other projects that are happening. He says, is there room for it? I mean, they're doing it, says Snyder. They have exactly 3 iterations. They have Todd Phillips' Joker. They have the Batman universe. They have remnants of my universe with Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Flash. And they're having Ben Affleck cameo as Batman. They have a TV series they're putting together. They have all the CW stuff. They are literally so deep in the multiverse that they couldn't get out of it if they wanted to. But at this moment, it doesn't look like the DC Multiverse has plans for the Snyder section to continue for now. Anyway, so fans will have to continue to brood over what might have been. And absolutely, yes. But in the meantime, Zack's not going to wait around for them to say yes, so we'll have to wait and see what this whole Discovery, Warner Discovery Max, whatever the hell they want to call it, what happens with that. But in the meantime, you can support his current project right now. Army of the Dead premieres already. It's already on Netflix right there on the TV right there. I can't wait to go and watch it again, this time on the TV. This time I get to show my wife. She doesn't like gory stuff and zombie stuff, but I'm like, this is something special. You may like this one. This is maybe something special. So hopefully she joins me on that. All right, well, let's get into the members' comments and questions now. So I close that window. Bowl of Indomie. Deep down, I still want all of them to be connected to the Snyderverse. Me too. Deep down, I wish they all got together and stuff like that. That'd be great. Things looking up again. Hopefully, Zack Snyder's Justice League continues somewhere down the line due to that merger. But more to the point, new stuff coming out and in the works. Fandom will be interesting. Do you think Emma Prick will survive the merger where it looks like Kyler ruffed so many feathers that he effectively put a target on himself? It looks to be the biggest casualty in the forthcoming shakeup. But those new Batman calendar picks look cool. And Gunn talking about his best filmed scene ever, and it involves Harley Quinn. Roll on Gotham City Sirens, please. I don't know if Emma Prick's going to survive it, but I'm leaning towards that he may be let out. I think maybe being the target, like you said, for the whole same day premiere may paint a bad picture. I mean, that's probably why he's looking for a new job. Well, let's be realistic. This news did nothing to stop the AT&T share price to drop and dividends being wiped out. It was 33 when the announcement was made. The share is at 28 now. Yeah, it's sucking. It's tanking. It's tanking. I think even Discovery was tanking from what I see. Warner Bros. How can we make our version of the Snyder Cut without releasing the Snyder Cut? Injustice Animated. After playing the Injustice game, I can hope they don't cut too much story or change elements like they did with Flashpoint Paradox. They probably will. You know, honestly, they probably will because they can't cram all that in less than 2 hours. And most animated movies, not all of them, like I think Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2 is probably one of the longest, but a lot of animated movies are short, like 90 minutes or so. Man, I've always hoped that Injustice would be adapted into something. It definitely needs to be a limited series or something because, like you said, it's an expansive story. Each year alone could be made into a movie. So I definitely want to see it fleshed out. The War of Green Lantern Corps, the battle against the old gods, Superman versus Darkseid, I want to see it all. Yeah, and I think that's one of my disappointments when I heard that was a movie because just like all the other adapted animated movies, and especially when they were the actual comic books and stuff, they're really cut down. They have no choice but to cut. They even change things in there, right? Like Hush, they changed some stuff in there. So honestly, like I'm excited, but at the same time also knowing full well that I may be disappointed that it won't be expansive as how we'd probably want it to be. So if that doesn't mean they can't adapt it in another way later on. Somehow, I don't know. Looking at the new animated Batman series, I can't help asking if Bruce Timm is involved in this. Where's Paul Dini? Obviously, he won't do a redo of the classic animated series, but still, it was Timm and Dini together who made it what it was. Yeah, I don't know. They didn't mention Paul Dini at all. Let's see this. Glad to see Warner Media finally acknowledge that Zack Snyder's Justice League is hit. The questions are, what took them so long? Why bring it up now? What does this mean in the context of the Discovery-Warner merger? Must investigate further. Zach P. What if Jason Momoa wrote Aquaman 2 to be canon with real DC? Snyderverse. I would go all giddy like a kid. Restore Snyderverse. Yeah, and maybe that's the case. Maybe that would be the case, right? He would probably add that in. Of course, I don't know. James Wan will continue having the designs that he wanted for them. So aesthetically, it will probably look the same as Aquaman 1. But I'm wondering what he added. Like I said before, I think he wanted to add Aqualad in some sense. So maybe that's what they're gonna put in. They mentioned somewhere their more risky or experimental movie is going to HBO Max and mentioned Batgirl and Static Shock as examples. Obviously, they put a charming spin in it in the PR. This was also months ago. That's true. I think I remember that Batgirl was one of those things that will head straight to HBO Max. So I guess they don't have. I guess they think that's risky to them, which also is kind of weird in my mind. But I guess that's what that's what it is. It is what it is. But until they start shooting that, I still don't think it's actually still coming yet. So I'm like for DC, especially Warner Brothers, it's like all these things are going to happen. I don't see it actually happening until it starts shooting. Like The Flash, it's finally happening because they are finally shooting it. So I guess there's that. All right. Well, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of entertainment news and content, please click the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time.